In a small close-knit community, Broda Friday, fondly known as Effa, was more than just a name. He was a symbol of resilience, sacrifice, and undying love for family. After the death of their father, the weight of responsibility fell heavily on his young shoulders. Without hesitation, he dropped out of school to care for his mother and two younger sisters, Glory and Sarah. Broda Friday worked tirelessly, doing whatever it took to ensure his family never lacked. His sisters were his pride, and when they came to him with news of their upcoming common entrance exams, he promised to find the money for their enrollment fees. His plan was simple: harvest and sell the vegetables, ripe peppers, and tomatoes from their small farm. Despite their pleas to help, Broda Friday insisted they focus on their studies. "You can't afford to fail this exam," he reminded them. He knew their education was the only way out of hardship. At dawn, he set off for the market with a bag full of fresh produce. Fortune smiled on him that day. He sold everything and made enough money for his sister's fees. With a heart full of joy and a sense of fulfillment, he packed his earnings and began the journey home. But fate had other plans. On his way back, he encountered a group of ruthless gang members, criminals who had been terrorizing the streets for months. They demanded his money. Broda Friday refused. He knew what that money meant. He had worked too hard to let them take it. He fought back. In the struggle, one of the gang members pulled out a knife and stabbed him. The robbers fled, leaving him bleeding on the cold ground. The next morning, a piercing cry shattered the quiet of the neighborhood. It was from Broda Friday's house. Neighbors rushed over, only to find his lifeless body lying at the doorstep. The pain was unbearable. A young man who had given everything for his family was gone, taken by the cruelty of the streets. His family buried him beside their home, the very place he had worked so hard to protect. Broda Friday's story was not just one of tragedy, it was one of love, courage, and sacrifice. Though his life was cut short, his legacy lived on in the hearts of those who knew him, especially in the sisters he fought so hard for. And in the whispers of the wind that passed through the village, one could still hear his promise, an unfulfilled dream of a better life for his family. Years had passed since Broda Friday's tragic death, but his name remained on the lips of many. He had been a familiar face in the village markets, known for his fresh vegetables, peppers, and tomatoes. But strange rumors began to spread. Traders from distant towns spoke of a man who looked exactly like Broda Friday. They would catch a glimpse of him in the marketplace, only for him to disappear before they could take a second look. Some dismissed the stories as superstition, but the whispers never stopped. It was said that Broda Friday's spirit had traveled far away, settling in a distant community where he started a new life. There, he married a beautiful woman named Chioma, and together they had 3 strong boys. Broda Friday had become one of the most successful farmers in that land, owning vast fields of vegetables, peppers, and tomatoes. He worked with the strength of 10 men, never tiring, never falling ill. His wife often boasted about his strength, calling him the mightiest man in the community. But the other women mocked her. "You married a man with no past," they sneered. "A man who appeared out of nowhere. Do you even know who he really is?" At first, Chioma brushed off the taunts. But the insults never stopped. One day, after a bitter argument with another woman, Chioma ran home in tears. "Tell me the truth, Friday," she demanded. "Where do you really come from? Who are you? If I can't answer these questions, I'd rather die and take our children with me. For the first time, fear crept into Broda Friday's heart. He saw the desperation in his wife's eyes. He knew he couldn't keep the truth hidden any longer. "Pack your things," he said. "Tomorrow, I will take you to my family." At dawn, Broda Friday set off with his wife and children. It was a long journey, but they traveled safely. When they arrived at his hometown, he pointed at a small house in the distance. "That is my mother's house," he told Chioma. She turned to him, confused. "My love, aren't you coming with us? How am I supposed to explain all this to your family?" Broda Friday smiled and placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Don't worry. Just go. Tell them you are my wife and these are my children. I have to see my childhood best friend first. I'll join you soon." He hugged his children tightly, kissing their foreheads, then watched as his family walked toward his mother's house. The moment Broda Friday's mother saw the children, she froze. Her lips trembled, her eyes filled with tears. Then, with a voice full of anguish, she screamed. Chioma was startled. She had no idea what was happening. Through her tears, Broda Friday's mother stared at the boys, their faces a striking reflection of her lost son. "Who are you?" she whispered. "I am Chioma, Friday's wife," Chioma answered cautiously. "These are his children. He told me to come here while he went to see his best friend. He said he would join us soon." Tears streamed down the old woman's face. The entire village gathered, staring in disbelief at the children who looked exactly like Broda Friday. They waited the whole night, hoping he would return. But he never did. At sunrise, Broda Friday's mother took Chioma beside their home. There it was, Broda Friday's grave. His picture was carved into the wooden headstone, smiling as if frozen in time. The mother clutched her chest, shaking her head. "My daughter. Broda Friday has been dead for more than 7 years now." Chioma collapsed to the ground, wailing. No, this can't be. He was just with me. He held my hands. He kissed our children." The village fell silent. Even the wind seemed to mourn. The truth could no longer be denied. Broda Friday had come home, not as a man, but as a spirit, bringing his family to where they truly belonged. And just like that, he was gone. Have you ever heard a similar tale before? Do you believe that spirits can return to complete their unfinished business? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so more people can hear it. Who knows? Someone out there might have their own version of this Broda Friday story. Let's keep these powerful stories alive.